Do you still believe this attack was done by one perpetrator? And if so, how does one individual kill 4 people at night and not wake up the other 2 roommates?
Our investigation will continue to look at all avenues of that investigation. I cannot disclose any of that information. I don't even know that information at this point in time, and that's why we're continuing to investigate.
I feel a shift in the general consensus that enough people are ready to speak out about, hey, this doesn't feel right, everybody. Your spidey senses, your sixth sense, it's going off.
There's something wrong. There's something wrong, and majorly wrong. And here we go.
Welcome to the Freak Show, the best in town.
If this is your first time tuning into the Hive Mind, I'm your host, Birdie. This is a contrarian thinking live stream. So if you're offended or if you're rattled on behalf of others, this is not going to be the stream for you. What does that mean? Well, if questioning the press release or the headlines pisses you off, just scroll away right now. We are often referred to as the tinfoil hat wearing conspiracy theorists. That's where you're at right now if this is your first time tuning in. Just to make that crystal clear. If you guys have not hit that like button, please do. Nomadic Duckman asks, and thank you for the super chat, did law enforcement ever ask DM or BF point blank, did you commit this crime? This is the most basic question, and I don't believe it was ever asked to either of them. God bless you, Birdie Duckman. Well, thank you. The only thing that I've heard said by the cops is thank you so much for cooperating. We're grateful you're talking. If at any point we ask you a question you don't want to answer, yada, 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 you don't have to. What did Chief Fry say in that press conference? It was like, we're not treating them as suspects, and we also never said they're witnesses.
We must also be prepared for all the possibilities, including a lengthy investigation. We must balance safety concerns and the need to grieve, along with the long-term needs of our students and our employees. We're making security our top priority. We are also planning for the very real possibility that some students aren't comfortable returning to campus. We will do our best to meet the needs of all students. Our faculty is working hard over the break to consider alternative delivery methods. We will also continue making counseling services available for all our students and employees as we process our grief. The care and concern for our Vandal family is our primary role, and we take that very seriously. We are a Vandal family, and nothing means more to us than family. And I'd also like to just thank all those for the great outpouring of support we've received from the nation. It's been incredible time, and all those who stand in solidarity with us, just know it means a great deal to us. Thank you.
I don't know how many people agree with this. I could walk up there right now out of the blue and I could give a better speech than that. I could make it more heartfelt. If I saw these victims' parents backstage and I saw their pain and I saw their grief, and there are rumors of people being bound and gagged. There are rumors of the frats being involved in Greek life. I don't know who did this, but whoever you are, you better sleep with one eye open. Because when we get you, your ass is going to be in front of the firing squad, the death penalty, the murder room. Your ass is done. And we're not messing around. We got the FBI here. We got the ISP. We have all these resources. God damn you for trying to do this at the University of Idaho. That's what I would say. Zero emotion, mouth-breathing, low-T, beta simp president right there.
Hi, I'm Emma Epperly from the Spokesman Review. I know you've said you're not going to release who the 911 caller was, but was the killer the 911 caller?
I will tell you no.
Looking back at that question, I feel like that takes mad guts to ask that question. Wow. Oh, I did not remember that. Yes, that is a mic drop question. Because they had said in the beginning that there were 2 roommates. It's known that 2 roommates survived and that one of them came from one of their cell phones. And this woman had the guts to stand up and say, was the killer the person who called 911? Wow.
Can you clarify, you said it was made from the roommate's phone, but you didn't say the roommate made the call. So did the roommate...
So, and then this lady is clarifying, if you guys can't hear that, I have it turned up all the way, But she says, can you clarify, is it one of the roommates that made the call?
No.
Can you clarify, you said it was made from the roommate's phone, but you didn't say the roommate made the call. So did the roommate make the call on the roommate's phone, or can you clarify that it's another individual made the call?
Actually, if we could just go to this one first. And
Well, it's a follow-up, that's why I wanted to.
so what I'll say to that is it was made from the roommate's call, or phone, excuse me. And we're not going to divulge who made that call to be, it's part of our investigation still. And when we get ready to release that, we will.
Dude, this is telling. If you're not counting them being Dylan and Bethany as suspects, why wouldn't you say, yeah, they woke up, they saw their roommates murdered, and they called? Well, I'm not going to tell you who used the roommate's phone. So now we have to wonder, is one of the victims' phone used to call 911? Now that would be a trip. Has anybody seen, I don't know if I have, and if I'm just brain farting on this, my apologies. Has anybody seen that it's DM's number or BF's number, or like whose number called 911? Damn.
Hi, Christina Corbin with Fox News. The male subject whom the women called, has he been ruled out as a suspect or person of interest?
Wait, what was that?
Christina Corbin with Fox News. The male subject whom the women called, has he been ruled out as a suspect or person of interest?
Everything that we have taken from those calls, we have followed up on, we've cleared, and we believe that there's no connection there.
Because they know who did this.
Gotti Schwartz, NBC News. Just following up on the 911 call, you said that you don't believe that's the killer. Can you conclusively rule out the person that called 911 from inside the home as a suspect in this case?
Can you go ahead and just ask that one more time, please?
The person that was inside the home that called 911 that was not one of the roommates. Can you conclusively rule that person out as a suspect at this point?
I don't think I said that it wasn't one of the roommates. I said that it was used with the roommate's phone.
I believe.
Whoa. Hang on. Dude, I am so glad that we went back and we watched this. Did you guys hear that? And then listen to somebody from the back goes, no, you did say that. Turn up your TVs, turn up your phones. Listen to this. This is insane. I'll go back like 30 seconds here.
Conclusively rule out the person that called 911 from inside the home as a suspect in this case?
Can you go ahead and just ask that one more time, please?
The person that was inside the home that called 911 that was not one of the roommates. Can you conclusively rule that person out as a suspect at this point?
I don't think I said that it wasn't one of the roommates. I said that it was used with the roommate's phone.
I believe somebody asked if that was the killer, and you said no.
No, that's correct.
Was there someone there other than the two?
Dude, the reporters are onto it. They are onto it.
One of the roommates. I said that it was used with the roommate's phone.
So it was used with the roommate's phone. I'm just not going to say it was the roommate. I will tell you. Is that some sort of legal protective language, Chief Fry? Because you got a bunch of people that are in there that are now jumping down your neck saying, well, no, that's not what you said.
Can you conclusively rule that person out as a suspect at this point?
I don't think I said that it wasn't one of the roommates. I said that it was used with the roommate's phone.
I believe
it wasn't one of the roommates that called. I don't believe that I said that. I said it was used with the roommate's phone. Dog, who made the call and whose phone was used? Holy hell. This is a simple question. You know what? You want to ask why people don't believe the story? We can go back and watch all of the initial interviews and everybody that had their gut instinct go off and sound the warning bell and have red flags start to flash. It's because of little things like this. And I get it. Maybe there are some people that are like, oh, it's not a big deal. Oh, it's not a big deal. Guys, this pace of verbal missteps or redactions or sealings, it didn't slow down. It only increased. This is a cover-up from the get-go. That's exactly right.
somebody asked if that was the killer, and you said no.
No, that's correct.
Was there someone there other than the two roommates when police responded to the home?
So will you clarify that for me?
You're not
Oh my
telling
God.
a roommate called 911 but used the roommate's phone. So was there someone else at the home other than those two roommates?
There was other friends that had arrived at the location.
How many?
Honestly, I'm not quite sure at this time, to be quite honest.
And
you guys
please,
have any idea?
and please take the microwave, or not the microwave, take the microphone away from her right now. And that's what I'm going to continue to say my point, back up, and look away from you, because I need you to shut up, because you're exposing me and then I'm forgetting my lines.
Yeah, if the killer's still within the community, or are you looking outside the community for the killer in terms of their physical location?
We are looking everywhere that evidence would lead us. I can't say if the person's here. I can't say what community the person's in. We're usually
I don't want to keep pausing this, Hive. I can't even watch this. I can't even watch this. We are looking everywhere and we are looking at all the evidence, but I cannot tell you what person, where they are, what community the person is. All I know is we're utilizing all of our resources. But I'm going to get up here and I'm going to tell you all of these for sure answers until you dive into them. And then I'm going to scold you when you ask follow-ups, when I don't give you a detailed answer. Chief Fry is now in the Clownhorn Hall of Fame forever. It's like getting your jersey hung up in the rafters.
utilizing every resource we can to make that location of that individual. And part of that is the safety of our community is paramount, and that's why we brought in the resource that we brought in to keep our community as safe as we can.
Being so close to the border, does that make it kind of automatically an interstate investigation? Can you comment on that?
I cannot comment on that. I'm not even aware.
You can look in Washington at all, I guess.
We're looking everywhere. I'm going to take two more questions.
Do you still believe this attack was done by one perpetrator? And if so, how does one individual kill 4 people at night and not wake up the other 2 roommates?
Our investigation will continue to look at all avenues of that investigation. I cannot disclose any of that information. I don't even know that information at this point in time, and that's why we're continuing to investigate.
Hi, Angela Palermo, Idaho Statesman. In the press release yesterday, you confirmed that the victims were found on the 2nd and 3rd floors of the home. Can you say which of the victims were found where?
I'm not going to go ahead and disclose that information. They were found on the 2nd and 3rd floor, and that's as far as we're going to go with that part of the investigation too, because all those key pieces do come to play later. So we do thank you.
What? Hold on. Guys, are they... I don't even care. Dude, this shit sounds like they are covering up, Are they giving these people enough time that were in this house? If you're somebody who's just dumb and you don't know that witness protection is real, okay, I'm not trying to be rude, but if you're like dumb and you don't like this and you're going to get mad at me, I'm not even going to apologize for it. Because listen to this press conference and put yourself in a parent's shoes, or a sibling's shoes, or a friend's shoes. Shit, put yourself in a cop's shoes. The only way that these answers are acceptable to anybody is if you're still trying to protect someone or somebody that was in that house. I understand there's the lens that you could look through that might be, this is corruption. Yes, of course. That's been addressed ad nauseum. Looking back at it, the fact that he says that's going to come into play later. How does he know that? How does he know that? Oh, well, now they're going to release it and they're going to say, Kaylee and Maddie were in the same bed because Kaylee came back to show off her new Range Rover, even though it was from a rental. It was a rental car at the time. No, it was for the Formo. It was the +1. Dylan drove all the way out there and invited them. And did they go? Were they with them that entire night? Where were Ethan and Xana the entire night? Nobody knows.
And 3rd floor, and that's as far as we're going to go with that part of the investigation too, because all those key pieces do come to play later. So we do thank you. We thank you for meeting with us. We thank you for helping get information out, and I can assure you we will continue to work hard. We will continue to do everything we can to solve this. So thank you.
Is this related to the animal mutilation?
Are you making talking about this person will strike again?
When do you think this person will strike again? Somebody yells out. Jesus Christ.
To solve this. So thank you.
Listen, towards the end.
Are you making talking about this person will strike again?
Type a 1 if that was like a good refresher. Well, buckle up Because now, if you thought the internet rumors were bad before, okay, well, hey, now your name is about to be floated into these rumors because you're not after the truth. You don't actually know anything, and yet you're reassuring us on nothing. Those rumors might just have more credibility than anything you're saying, is what I'm taking away from it. So I'm going to run with that story. So if you guys watched Pavarotti's like 9-minute video, he went over Brian Coburger's like page 1 of this paper. I'm going to read it. I understand people are about to say, Pavarotti already did this. At this point, shit, I'll link arms with Pav. I don't care if he said it. I know there's people that don't see all of his videos, and I know that there's people that watch me that don't watch him. I don't care. I don't think he cares. We all want the truth in here, okay? And if anything, I like the direction he's going because it kind of scratches the itch of the Hive when it comes to tinfoil hat conspiracies. And I say that not to take away from anything, but it's like, I've been talking about this damn NIJ funding for like 6 or 7 months now. And then I'm going to read this, which is a proposal. Okay? This is insane. If you have not seen this, or if you have, let me just reiterate it rather than. So this is topic 1, and this is written by Brian Coburger. Topic 1, theoretically important, is in offender decision-making, emotionality, and burglary with theft or material gain as the end. All right? While an analysis of criminal behavior under the lens of the rational choice perspective considers the intuitive notion that offenders weigh costs against benefits when committing crimes, not all criminal actions reflect a rational instrumental process. For instance, crimes of passion involve reactive violence, which manifests due to intense emotional arousal, confounding notions of an exclusively cold criminal calculus. With respect to the limitations of the rational choice perspective, the minimization or exclusion of the analysis of the influence of effectivity on offender decision-making permeates existing research. I'm just going to pause there. Okay. I want to know if anybody in here has ever written 5 sentences with that big of with as many big words in there as Brian just did about any subject. And look, I'm not trying to insult people's intelligence. I got great grades in college, 4.0 high school. I never wrote papers like this. Okay? There probably are people that have, but it's a general question. I mean, this is wild. I mean, a PhD candidate, to Kimberly's point, you're not surprised. To that same extent, I'll segue off that, not using your comment as like something against what you're saying there, but it's like, this doesn't line up with somebody who's a serial killer that would just go and do this in a random house that has no connection. Okay. So it permeates existing research. Such a dearth of research surrounding emotions and decision-making, particularly regarding how emotions may interfere with the cost-benefit analysis of offenders, precludes a true apprehension of the intricacies of offender decision-making in various offense contexts. Further compounding this deficiency, studies surrounding the influence of emotionality on offender decision-making throughout the crime commission process are scarce, as is the variety of crimes included in the topics probing. For example, sex offenses and robbery are the only crimes that are discussed. Considering such a gap, a need to expand on existing literature is clearly discerned, which the current proposal wishes to do so by understanding how emotions, both positively and negatively balanced, influence the decision making involved in burglary before, during, and after crime commission. The topic will be probed by way of in-person, semi-structured interviews in a correctional setting. I should go get that damn tinfoil hat right now. I mean, dude. Now let's go back to, and I have another slide. I'll read this, but before I read this one, let me just say this. Washington State University received over $2 million. Coburger transfers right in the middle of this funding for predictive criminal behavior in emerging adults in a non-clinical setting. My first interpretation of that was outside of the classroom, meaning, oh, maybe in a nearby town. But now it almost sounds like this last sentence of his paper is synonymous with the funding that the damn NIJ gave Washington State, that Brian Coburger just so happens to transfer into during the middle of that funding, just so happens to have Josh Hurwitz show up in April, just so happen to have CastNet documents show that they're looking at Xana and Maddie when Coburger gets out there. Okay, now there is real questions to be asked given national security, all of the redactions. Chief Fry, as we just heard, says that'll come into play later. What the hell is going on? The current proposal wishes to do so by understanding how emotions, both positively and negatively balanced, influence the decision-making involved in burglary before, during, and after crime commission. The topic will be probed by way of in-person, semi-structured interviews in a correctional setting. Well, what does semi-structured mean? Is it like a business casual interview where you're like not undercover, but maybe you're like in a position yourself, representing a role of somebody that you're interviewing somebody on questions regarding crimes? I'm sure the U.S. government and the NIJ wouldn't use like black budget funding or wouldn't give research grants to do this type of stuff, right? Given how there's a giant gap in any crimes studied outside of sex offenses and robberies. And I'm sure that the odds of Brian Coburger writing a proposal about how there's a lack of studying any other crimes is widely discerned, and we have no research on it. So he's not just coincidentally proposing that he goes in and studies positive and negative decision-making skills that are involved during and after crimes in a correctional setting. I'm sure I'm just making this all up, right? There's no way that this guy actually just wrote that all down on paper, right? Again, what are the odds given everything else? And burglary was one of his charges. And everyone goes, burglary? What does that mean? All right. Topic 2. An exploration of training needs of officers conducting digital forensic examinations. The utilization of technology presents a proliferating and multifaceted aspect of daily contemporary life, reflective of its ingrained nature in many elements of contemporary life, even those that are unconventional. Technology has inevitably become a fruitful source of inculpatory and exculpatory criminal evidence. In fact, digital evidence is identifiable in every type of investigation conducted by local, state, and federal authorities. Given the adaptability and amplitude of digital evidence, the identification, collection, analysis, and storage of such data is paramount to efficiently, see, that's what I mean. We're just going to say efficiently and successfully administering justice. Unfortunately, there is currently no training standard to which digital forensic examiners conduct these analyses, confounded by the fact that local police departments are notably understaffed and under-resourced to rise to the challenges that arise from the processing and storage of digital evidence, which we know there was a hell of a lot of it in this case. The extent to which local police officers are undertrained needs to be indicated in order to fully understand the needs of local police departments with respect to digital evidence, which few studies have explored. The current proposal wishes to explore the training needs of officers conducting digital forensic examinations of evidence by way of survey. The survey will enable that officers convey the areas of expertise that they have obtained through experience and or training, thus shedding light on areas of proficiency and deficiency. Oh, man. If this angle is not looked into as heavily as the frats, as drugs, I'm going to be mind blown. There's an angle that has legs to it, following the money at an elite criminology school, being WSU, in which Brian Coburger went to, where he's writing papers about exactly what happened to him. I'm sure that nobody is smart enough in the FBI or the DOJ or the Marshals or anything else where federal dollars, although we may think they're dumbasses, I'm sure that they've never pulled off sophisticated operations to overturn governments, get us into year-long wars on drugs, invisible enemy type stuff where we all buy it and believe it because the media convinces all of us that it's real and it only takes us a decade or longer to catch on. No, I'm sure they're not capable of doing that. And it's probably a stretch to think, wow, maybe the angle to this entire thing is that Brian Coburger wanting to study this is what set up the sting on the Pacific Northwest Highway. That'll come into play later, as Chief Fry says. The lack of details, the redactions, the national security, all of the rumors about the families. One might say it's a perfect location to conduct this type of study. We have a blueprint that encapsulates everything that we've discussed at lengths when it comes to certain things. Meaning, I guess maybe here in the Hive, the funding is under talked about. The Pacific Northwest Highway is not. The university is not. Meaning, everybody talks about that. What if you throw this into the mix? What if you throw this lens and this angle into the mix? Everybody says, why that house? Why Idaho? Why these girls? I understand that it's federal dollars. Maybe we all have our own opinions on if federal money is spent responsibly or irresponsible. But if anybody does their research, they absolutely hit a home run on where they decided to do this, if it is this study. I've not dug into this that much, but I want to know if we can find a connection between Josh Hurwitz and Brian Coburger. That's what I want to know.